organization that's got a lot of good pieces, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, is the Chicago Bears. So everybody knew coming in they were going to take Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. There was the debate about a month ago, hey, will they trade the number 1 pick, stick with Justin Fields, get more picks, yada, 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 which I always push back against that from the jump because while I like Fields, he's with my Steelers now. If he pans out Pittsburgh, great. But for Chicago, the argument about, hey, you get more picks, you get to stack the roster around him, which I said, yeah, but those picks aren't guaranteed to hit. Like, you have to hit on all of those picks and hope that Justin Fields pans out, as opposed to, hey, we've got one of the best quarterback talents ever out of college. Not say he will be one of the best quarterbacks ever in the league, but out of college, as far as from a pure talent and intangibles perspective, that guy's right there for the taking because you fleeced the Carolina Panthers because they're a poorly run franchise. And the Bears, to me, made the right decision. Got a 6th-rounder that could turn into a 4th-rounder, but probably ends up staying a 6th-rounder with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They take Caleb Williams, number 1. And then down the line, at number 9, they could go a line, but they already took my man out of Tennessee last year, Darnell Wright. Shout out to Darnell Wright. Shout out to Tennessee. Go Vols. They bolster the offensive line the last couple of years in the draft. This year, they could still do that, although most of the great offensive tackles this year in the draft are going to be in the 1st round, as is generally the case. So they go with Rome Odunze, who I really like. Malik Neighbors. I would give Odunze a slight advantage over Malik Neighbors as the 2nd best receiver in this draft, obviously to Marvin Harrison Jr. But this is, and I've been on this for a couple weeks or so, this is not, and I talked about it last night in the draft show on the Grid Network. Please subscribe to the Grid and check out our draft show. Part 1 and 2. We had to end up doing a second stream in the middle of it. But I said this isn't the stereotypical number 1 pick, gets the highly touted quarterback, and the situation is crap, and the quarterback has to fix it. This is not Peyton Manning in 1998 with the Colts. This is not Andrew Luck in 2012 with the Colts. This is not, more recently, Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars in 2021. This is a team that went I think 7-8, 8-9, fought toward the end of the season, were pretty good. Justin Fields was better. The coach seemed to find his groove, certainly with the defensive side of the ball, which he specializes in. DJ Moore and the running game and the O-line came together. Now you have those components, and you knew you were getting Caleb Williams. You add Rome Odunze to DJ Moore. You also, in free agency, got Keenan Allen, still very productive, had an excellent season last year with Justin Herbert and the Chargers. You add DeAndre Swift, who is excellent in Detroit, excellent with the Philadelphia Eagles. No reason, to believe that he won't be excellent with the Chicago Bears. So you load up the offense, you get Caleb the pieces. Caleb's got a ready-made situation to a certain level. This isn't Indianapolis with Peyton or Luck or the Jags with Trevor Lawrence. This is a very good offense. I would go so far as to say that I think this could be a top 5 offense in the NFL. Because if you look at that division, you look at the NFC North, not a lot of great defenses. Now, Detroit's trying to upgrade theirs. They took a corner last night, Terry Arnold, which I thought was an excellent pick. But Detroit still has a ways to go defensively. Aiden Hutchinson's excellent. They have Anzalone, but they need to kind of fill in some pieces. Probably use an interior lineman to stop the run. Detroit kind of struggled with that in that game against the 49ers. But Detroit doesn't have a good defense, consistently good. The Packers are up and down. Played a little better at the end of the season, but really, really struggled in second halves of games defensively. They'll need to address that this year in the draft. And so if you look at the Chicago Bears, now Minnesota's defense, I think, is actually pretty good. I think Minnesota's got a pretty good defense with Brian Flores running that side of the ball. I think he's a masterful defensive mind. Comes from the Belichick tree, and we know the defensive coach, the Bill is. So he gets to kind of, in essence, because of these weapons, and if he pans out into what I think he is, which is within 2 years a top 5 quarterback, he gets to spread the ball around to tremendous wide receiving targets. DJ Moore's always been productive. The problem with DJ Moore is he's never had elite quarterback play ever in his life in the NFL. Now he does, potentially. I think that'll be the case. Keenan Allen, we've seen what he's done when he's had elite quarterback play, whether it be Phillip Rivers or Justin Herbert. Now you had Rome Odunze, who had a guy who thinks can be excellent, and Michael Penix Jr. in college. DeAndre Swift's an excellent running back. They've upgraded the offensive line. The defense, by the way, ever since they traded for Montez Sweat, and that was a trade, I remember midseason, I'm like, it's kind of weird. Chicago's not competing really for a playoff spot. Like, I don't know if I love this for them. Chicago was already they're kind of a defensive culture. Since they made the move for Sweat, they were excellent down the stretch of games, held teams close under 20. Their offense in some of those games. I remember one game against the Packers, one game against the Browns when their offense just couldn't get it going over the course of that football game, or those football games with Caleb Williams. And with these weapons now, they can. So I think the Bears absolutely won the first round of this draft. They get, I think, a true number one receiver in Rome Odunze and a true, not just franchise quarterback, but a guy I think is fully capable of being a superstar at the next level in Caleb Williams, and a division that is no doubt tough. But the toughness in the NFC North comes to the opposite side of the ball. Green Bay's got Jordan Love, and assuming he continues what he did in the second half of last year, they're set. They've got the weapons. They've got the run game, O-line. LaFleur really impressed me last year. You look at Detroit. Listen, I've been bullish on Detroit from the jump. Since last year's draft, literally, check the tape, when I picked the Lions to go to the NFC title game, and 9 months later, they came through for me. But that offense is stacked. That offense is loaded. They're well coached on both sides of the ball, but they're trying to upgrade their defense. Minnesota is like the reverse. They have a pretty good defense, even though they did lose one of their elite pass rushers this year, Danielle Hunter. But offensively, they've got the pieces. But I just don't know J.J. McCarthy's the answer. I know Sam Darnold's not the answer. So I think the Chicago Bears are going to be a top 5 offense if they're healthy in 2024. I really do. And I think the Chicago Bears are going to be a playoff team in 2024. I mean, if you look at across the NFC, we look at the NFC and the NFL the same way we do the Eastern Conference and the NBA, where it's, once you get about 4-ish teams, maybe 5 down, not great in the Eastern Conference in the NBA. Kind of the same in the NFC. We know San Francisco's good. We know Detroit's good. Green Bay's ascending. Dallas at least has an elite quarterback and receiver. That's about all they have. Philadelphia has a good roster. Don't trust their coach. After that, now you have questions. So that's what I got. I think Chicago's going to be a playoff team. I think Chicago's going to be a top 5 offense in the NFL. I really do. I'm not saying they're like a Super Bowl contender. As we know, no rookie quarterback's ever started a Super Bowl or led his team to the Super Bowl, but this Bears team is going to be on the rise quickly. Very quickly. I like their offensive play caller, too, as well. Obviously, I think he was with, I'm forgetting the guy's name. He was with Russell Wilson briefly at the end of his time in Seattle. I thought did a pretty good job. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.